Okay, we are live. This is going to be a fun one. I came across this yesterday, and it was hilarious and so to the point that I just have to talk about it. And it's something that seems to enrage these Gen Z self-entitled women, especially. So that's reason enough to talk about it. It's funny, and these people they need a little bit of. We need to make fun of them because they're taking themselves far too seriously. And yeah, I just did another live stream, sitting here in the darkness, and it's wonderful to see that you are back. It was a more serious topic, the other one, um, but this will be a little bit more lighthearted, hopefully. Um, Steph, Daita, KP Heathen, Occult Prepper, Daniel, Creative by Nature Studio, and Green Eyed Lady, Stealth Mode. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. I'll just um, I'll just give it a few seconds so that people can join. This is something that I don't know who nicknamed this the septum ring theory first, but it's a good name. It's a good name, and I will link it to the more commonly known main character syndrome. So let's get the definitions right. Okay, the main character syndrome is when someone feels and behaves in a manner that shows you that they think that everything evolves around them. It's their needs, their feelings, their opinions, and this person thinks that's what is most important, and everyone should adapt and adjust to this person's needs and opinions. Um, so that's main character syndrome, um, and it's quite common among, I would say, dare I say, younger people. Not only, but it kind of came from social media, and you see it maybe most among women. And they go on social media, they put a filter that take away their acne on their skin, and they get hundreds of comments from pathetic men who are writing, "You're so beautiful," and then their ego is inflated, and they think that they are the most important person in the world, and everyone should adapt and adjust to them. So that's main character syndrome for you. It's not a it doesn't make those people very charming or nice to be around. Let's just put it that way. Sebron Swearingen says, "Hello, fellow heathens, individuals, free thinkers, critical thinkers, and Vikings, outer lovers, etc." Yes, thank you. Hello to all of you. So apparently, septum ring, that's the ring that in the middle of the nose. That's right in the middle of the face. Like not on the side of the nose, but the thing in the middle. So they have a ring through there, like some cattle they had. I'm against that. I think it's cruel, but they put a ring like that in cattle sometimes. And Yeah, so it's that one. It's become very popular, and apparently it started as many of these ridiculous things as a protest against the patriarchy. It's an anti-beauty standard thing. Like when women shave off all their hair, it's like I protest being seen as a symbol of men's desire, so I shave off all my hair. Or, let's figure out what men finds most disgusting. Oh yeah, that would be a ring in the middle of my face in the fucking nose. So yeah, so that's where it came from, and then it became kind of a thing among younger women. And I think unless there's something wrong with you, you don't actually think that that looks nice, because it disturbs the whole face. Now, um, this, the septum ring theory simply says that if a woman has that ring there, run. It's a symbol of problems to come. It's a warning. It's like in nature, insects typically that are poisonous, they have bright colors. So in the same way, a girl with a ring like that, as one of these guys I saw a video, he said, if it's like the horseshoe version, don't get involved, and if you do, you will not survive. If it's the ring version, don't get involved, but you might be able to escape if you do. It's a symbol of, it's a warning of trauma. It's a warning of an attitude that is not going to be good to be around. Um, and people need to remember it comes from a place of fighting the patriarchy. It comes from a place of man hating. And I don't think that women, all the women who get that, they hate men. I don't think that. But it's a the theory is that they are pinpointing their trauma, their problems, and their man-hating attitude. And it seems to be correct 99% of the time. and and it's very practical. It's very practical because it's a warning. So it's like, okay, you see the ring, then you should stay away. Same way as you should stay away from uh, a poisonous insect, right? So um, now, this thing, on a personal note, I will say that when this started to appear, and I started to see women with these rings in their nose, like there, I, 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 I thought to myself, where will be the next place? Because they've had uh, that ring. It's kind of moved around in the face during the last few years. So where will be the next place? I think they've done all the places. They've done the eyebrow and everything around the mouth and the ears that have holes so big now that you can see through them. It's fucking disgusting. Um, where's the next place? I actually, I actually think that it's a big tragedy what we're seeing now, um, and only men with a lack of self-respect will be okay with that. And it's like, if you're a man, well, okay, if you're a man and you're into poking holes in your body, then okay, maybe that's for you. But most men will not like that. And if you don't like it, my advice is don't go there. Don't go there. And let's, sorry, I'll have to get a little bit real here, okay, to the men listening. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. But don't go there just because you think that if you try to not mind the stuff that you hate in that ring, for instance, you'll still get laid. If you just don't mind it, don't go there. It's not worth it. You're going to get into so much fucking problem that you can't even imagine. It's a warning. So that's the septum ring theory. And it's like, it's problems. It's a symbol of problems, and it's not good, and it should be avoided. And yeah, how is this linked to main character syndrome? Now, okay, I think that we live in a world now where it's very difficult, first of all, to be noticed, because of social media. Everyone's on social media. Everyone's using a filter. I don't, by the way. If I used a filter, if this was a filter, why would I use this? But they do this now, not because the ring there in the nose. I think most of them do that now, not because they hate the patriarchy, but because they want to be noticed. And they think that this is how to be noticed now. Now we are in a world where people want to be noticed for who they are, or in reality, how they look, not so much because of what they've done. You know? And this is a problem, right? Because a lot of these people, they don't aspire to anything. Now, there is another thing here that is older, that I think is connected to the whole thing. It's the perception that people should be, that you deserve respect. And I'm like, no, you don't deserve respect. Nobody deserves respect. Respect must be earned. I don't expect anyone to respect me. Why, if you don't know me, why would you respect me? But if you get to know me, hopefully I will deserve your respect. That's how it should be. When you have a world where lots of people suffer from the main character syndrome, they get frustrated when they discover that people don't fucking care. They don't care about them. And we also live in a world now where young women are not approached by men anymore. I wouldn't blame the men, actually. I would blame a lot of other stuff that has happened recently. So these women, they do lots of crazy stuff now to get attention, like having a fucking ring in their nose. And they don't care so much, or they don't think so much about what kind of attention they're getting. And I can assure you, if you have a big ring in your nose, you will get my attention. As in, I don't want to look at you, honestly. And if that's the attention they want, okay, then, you got it. You got that kind of, you got the attention. So it's all fucked up, really. It's it's not good. So what happened to self-respect? What happened to respecting your body? Not destroying your body like lots of these women. They get fully tattooed, they have rings all over, and it's like, okay, you just showed to me that you have a disturbing need for a massive amount of attention, and that in itself is a, as they say, a red flag, you know. And they wonder why young men don't approach these women. I mean, fucking hell, they look like they come from a circus, you know. So this is a monologue here that will be getting comments like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're such a boomer. Oh, you're such a," and all of that. But listen, no, no, you know that what I'm saying now is correct, and it's an uncomfortable truth. And then there will be comments like, "Everyone is craving attention. It's just a different way of craving attention." And it's like, no, no, not everyone is craving attention. You know what? A lot of people, they just want to be left alone. And I don't need attention, you know. And a lot of you guys, you don't need attention. You're happy in your own company. You and maybe you have a family around you. Maybe you have a girlfriend and so on. You're happy with that, and you don't need attention. And then they will say, "Oh, you're on YouTube, so clearly you want attention." I'm not on YouTube to get attention. If I was, I wouldn't be sitting in a dark room, or I wouldn't walk around out in the woods. That's not how you get attention on YouTube. so, um, so yeah, you know, I do have pity for these people. I do, absolutely do, because there is trauma there. There is pain. There is pain behind that. And I remember when I worked as a therapist several years ago, and when you get people into that room, you know, and they open up, and they, because they want to talk, you don't even have to ask them. And there was a, what's the word, correlation between the amount of tattoos and piercings on these women and the amount of trauma that they had been through. Um, absolutely. The most famous Norwegian podcaster, he said some time ago that, you know, women, they put their trauma on their skin. Tattoos, that's what it is. So the more tattoos, the more trauma they've been through, or the more trauma they are carrying. And it's like, I'm not, if you want a tattoo, I don't care. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you have a tattoo. I'm not, not, that's not what I'm saying. And also, I think that a tattoo can often be a personal thing, maybe because you can hide it. So I think that is different from something that you put right in the middle of your face. Because if you put something right in the middle of your face, you really want people to see it. You really want people to see it. Yeah. And I guess there's a fashion and trend component there. as well. But the nose ring thing is, I think, I don't know. I've never talked to these people, but about that, I'm not interested actually. And what people say is very different from the truth, by the way. Um, and but I honestly think that at least a part of it is like it's a symbol of fighting the patriarchy, and they think that they are so independent when they do that. But basically, it's just another uniform. It's just another uniform. There's nothing unique about it. So, with dread, I will now look at the chat. um, let's see here. Modernity says, quote, "I want to get tattoos so I can be a rebel too." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because that seems to be a thing. Um, being a rebel is more about what you do or don't do, not about how you look. Um, yeah, and of course, a lot of people are saying tattooed women is a turnoff. I know a lot of people are saying that, and yeah, a lot of men are saying that. They are saying it because they think it is, and so I mean, you can't argue with that. A preference is a preference. Um, let's see. Yeah, tramp stamps. Yeah, I don't like tattoos either. But it's like, if I don't see it, it doesn't bother me. Um, obviously, if you're going to see someone naked, it would bother you if you don't like it, obviously. But yeah. So, um, Master of 66 says, I dated two tattooed, pierced women and meet, met a third. Don't do it. um, I'm going to say something that is annoying to these people, and I think I've said it before, and I've kind of been hesitant to talk about it because I don't want to be seen as one of these red pill bros. I don't like that community. They're just fucking grifters. Um, but if you go to some of these Eastern European countries, it's quite rare to see that. And if you compare how women look there to how women look here in Western Europe, it's a vast difference. And I would never, when I was like a teenager, I never would have imagined that the fashion or the trendy image, the ideal image for women would be um, a middle-aged, fat, heavily tattooed truck driver with a bare belly. I never would have imagined that would become the ideal body and look for young women. But here we are. Here we are. And if you don't like that, maybe travel through the countries of former Eastern Europe. Well, Eastern Europe, those countries, maybe. Not beard belly, beer belly, beer like fat. So if you're more into like the classic beauty thing, then maybe go to Eastern Europe instead. Maybe you're wasting your time here. But if you, of course, if you like the heavily tattooed, self-entitled, multi-pierced look, then I mean, this must be paradise here in Western Europe. Must be paradise. But if you don't like that, maybe travel a little bit. Yeah, Czech Republic. I've actually, have I been there? Hold on. No, I have actually not been in the Czech Republic. I've not been there, but I hear it's a wonderful country. Yeah, and the Baltic states, and of course Russia. I mean, yeah. So it's like that's something to think about, maybe. That something to think about, and yeah. So I think it's interesting and it's a bit funny. And I saw a video where it was actually a reaction video, I would say, because this guy, he had put into his video some TikTok stuff with these crazy people, crazy people who had their nose rings, and they had heard about the septum ring theory, and they were all very, very angry because, of course, they are all unique. They are all unique, and they all have their very unique reason to get that ring. Yes, they're all unique. We must understand that they are all unique and very important. So they were sitting there screaming into their smartphones on TikTok, reacting to hearing about how people disrespect their nose rings. uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I I think that I have a very difficult time taking people serious these days. Um, I I just I don't usually respect people here. Sorry, that's just the truth. Because it's like I'm on a personal note. I will say, if you want my respect, first of all, you need to be sort of well read, so that at least you're able to place Ukraine on the map, like something like that. You need to know a little bit about the world and world history, where you come from, maybe like your ancestry. Uh, I think that's a responsibility we all have. And honestly, if you show up with a ring in your nose, I'm going to have a difficult time even looking at you. Sorry, that's just how it is. Um, you might say that that's cruel, and again, I don't fucking care. So, yeah, No, but I especially with young people now, they can't. They're unable to have a conversation, and it's like the gym that I used to go to, the powerlifting gym. Why the hell would I go there? I'm not going there anymore. Why would I go there? You can't have a conversation with people because they can only say something or react to something. Like in one, they blurt out something, and that's all. They can't have a conversation anymore. Then they're back to the smartphone. And that's just boring. I can't respect that. I just can't respect that. So I don't know how expensive it is. I imagine mom and dad is paying. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know. Um, so let's see here. I'm just scrolling up. Yeah, there is a history to many of these rings, actually. Um, and and I think if slavery, uh, the slave trade, now the caliphates, that the Arab slave trade, they don't teach that in schools. Maybe they should have, but of course, then you can't really sell the idea that white man bad. If they had, they people would have known why the Arab or the Muslim countries, why they don't have descendants. Oh no, why they don't have. No, let's. YouTube censorship. It's a fucking. I hate it, but I'll just say it straight out. They in the Muslim countries, they castrated all the male slaves from Africa and other countries, and they put rings in the females. That was a common thing. So that's where it comes from, okay? And I won't get into details of where, but that was a thing. They did that, and I don't understand why people would want that, because it's the mark of the slave. Okay, you can go and research that, but it's a very tragic and horrible thing to research. It's just horrible. um, so yeah. So let's see here. Yeah. Now, is this a popular message? No, it's not. I know it's not. But it's like, why would I care? And I think if we kind of if you were here during the last the live stream I did just before this one, I think what should be added to that about how everything is censored yeah, I won't revisit that too much now, but um, a lot of people now, I think they've gotten to the point where they don't care anymore about the consequences. Because, first of all, I don't think there will be any consequences except some people being mad at you in the comments. And I've never understood why people care about comments and reactions online. Why would you care about that? And it's like I don't honestly care about other people's opinions. Maybe I should more, but I honestly don't. Why would I care? What happens if someone doesn't like what I say, or nothing? Nothing happens. Um, and I would say that um, if we go back to, we have talked a little bit about, especially young men, they don't approach women anymore, uh, and also especially young men or men in general, they care a lot about what women think about them. They usually do, and they shouldn't. They should not. And I have found that there is actually a lot of truth in the saying, "Just be yourself." Um, there is something very attractive with people. Not, I'm not even attractive. I'm not even saying that as purely and only in a romantic setting, but there is. Uh, I think attractive is the word, but there is something attractive, or um, they attract people. Not that you're romantically attracted, but there is a word for it. It's not attractive, but magnetic, maybe. Yeah, maybe magnetic, about people who are just being themselves, because they are true, they are who they are, and they are honest. That takes a lot of bravery and courage, and of course, if you're a man or a woman, and that will be attractive to the opposite sex, obviously. um, so yeah, be yourself. Modernity says, I've always been a chick magnet. It's a tough life, but I do my best. Yeah. Terry Alexander says, drug use is so bad in the USA. Yes, I have understood that it is very bad. It is, and obviously, it's a sign of lack of self-respect, drug use, of course. I have no tolerance for it. I would not want to be in a social setting with people who use drugs or think it's okay to use drugs. I just don't. I just don't want to waste even a second uh, with people like that. It's just a waste of time. Now, I don't have like experience with that at all, but it's like I feel I don't want to. I don't want to. And it's like I've been so people have suggested sometimes you should be on the, what's his name, Joe Rogan show. No, I won't. If they asked, I would not. I would say no. Why? Because at least on one occasion, maybe several occasions, they've been using drugs on the show. So no. Yes, it would be good for my maybe, I don't know, maybe it would be good for my YouTube presence, but I'm not going to sell out. So I boycott all of that, and I wouldn't want to be in that social setting at all because of what I just said. You know, but I guess it's a big topic. There is addiction, of course, associated with that. Um, but no, I don't, and I don't accept that. And here's the thing concerning. Now, I'm don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing the nose ring with drug use. Obviously, I'm not doing that. Okay, so just let's make that very clear when I continue here. But the idea here, the modern idea, is that, and you will hear people say this, you are supposed to let people do what they want and respect them for their choices. And they're not forcing it upon you, right? So that's what they're saying. So it's okay if they're not forcing it upon you. But here's the thing. No, I don't respect you. Like these people using these recreational drugs. All of those people, I would say, I do not respect you because of that. Because of that, you do not have my respect, right? And you may not like that, but I don't care. I don't respect you. Um, and then they will say, but I'm not forcing it upon you, you know. Well, I don't care. Because you have made those choices, I do not respect you. And I don't care if you don't like that. Right? So, again, I'm not comparing drug use with a nose ring. But I will say, if you have a nose ring, I do not respect you. Sorry, I don't. Because you've shown to me, you are showing to me that you're just not unique enough. You're just doing as you think you should do. And you're not the main character of anything. Do something that matters. Then I will respect you. Maybe. Okay. And this is concept that a lot of people have a difficult time understanding, right? But that's where it is. That's how it is. So I see a couple of comments in the chat now that are trying to make a joke out of this, but it's not a joke. Um, so let's see here. I don't. I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about prescription drugs. I want to make that clear. Now I know that big pharma has, through their lobbying, they've managed to get recreational drugs in the USA and other countries. They've managed to make it so that they are somehow now medical. Yeah. You don't get it, do you? Talking to someone here. So I'm not talking about those. It's a bit difficult because some. Okay, so I'll make it very simple. Recreational drugs that are real. No, sorry, prescription drugs that are real, that are meant to heal you. Not all prescription drugs are, but those that are actually meant to heal you. I'm not talking about those. Okay, so yeah, but there are lots of Americans here, and in America there's a lot of acceptance for drugs. I think it's weakening your nation. We see that every day. It makes people weak. So okay, lots of people want to be banned from the channel now. So that's funny. Yeah, well, it's like it's a I'm 53 years old now, and what I have noticed is that these people, they age quickly. The ones on drugs, they age quickly. Just as these women who spend their nights drinking wine and watching Sex and the City with their rebel tattoo on their butt. They age quickly, very quickly. At the age of 53, they are old. They can't do so much anymore. So that's sad. But also, I think that as I've gotten older, I'm more and more thinking that people, they are responsible for themselves. And I don't know, maybe I've just gotten tired. I don't have so much sympathy with people anymore. So I come from a time and a place and an age where if people brought drugs, like what is sorts that are accepted in the USA now, like it's everywhere. If you did that, my idea of how you handle that is that I beat you into a bloody pulp. You get it? So that's where I come from. That's the attitude I actually grew up with. So that's how it is. And maybe you don't like that. And maybe I don't care. Uh, and I think it was a better way. And I think it was a better way. Absolutely. Well, Green Eyed Lady, sorry you did that 30 years ago. But again, I really don't care. But um, let's see here. Uh, I'm glad you managed to quit that. I'm glad you managed to quit. Yeah. Okay. So that's the septum ring theory for you. And I'm sure that these septum ring girls, usually girls, I've noticed, who are so open minded, they will be be very interested in hearing that theory. Basically, it's a sign of trauma and man hating. Um, yeah. Verona tells about string theory next. That's complicated. I'm not a physicist. That's much more. No, that I don't know if I can do that. That's maybe you can find a video of some physicists, astrophysicists, something like that. Um, maybe they can talk about that. So yeah, I don't think I'll check the comments on this one. Okay, 2 live streams. How about that? Check out the one I just did, by the way.